Hello and welcome to today's video. In today's video, I'm just going to cover what I think is wrong with the 2022 BRZ's design. There's something about it to me that just seems off, and I'm just going to try to find out what that is. Just so you know, I am not a professional car designer, so some of the stuff that I say might not be the most correct of an opinion. So, yeah, take it as you will, I guess. Anyways, let's get right into the video. Alright, so I guess I'll start from the rear and move towards the front. And let's talk about the rear fender line. I'll have that, circled on the image. But that, for me, it just seems really awkward as the line, instead of moving forward, seems to just swoop straight towards the ground, which makes the change towards the front really abrupt and somewhat awkward, which is not the most appealing thing to look at. I really just don't like how that fender line looks, and I think the older BRZ did it better. Now, this only looks really bad from some views, so I can't completely confirm how bad this is, and it might just look better in person. I honestly don't know. But at least in some of the pictures, it looks really bad and awkward, especially when you take that and try to move towards the front. So that I found that to be a big problem with it. So another problem I have is the side skirt, specifically the rear end of the side skirt. It just kind of stops. I guess that's the only way I can put it. It flows really nicely from the front off of onto the side of the car. And then it just stops and melds back into the design? What? The rear fender line looks like it's supposed to hook up with that, but it doesn't, and it just looks awkward, in my opinion, how it just abruptly ends. I honestly don't understand this design choice. It doesn't make any sense to me. If you do understand it and you want to tell me why this makes sense, then comment down below. I'm not a car designer, of course, so yeah. Anyways, let's move on to my next point. Alright, so the front fender, I really don't have any problems with. I think it looks fine and it flows well. Honestly, I think the front fender looks pretty good. I really like it. It's just how it worked with the back that it didn't do very good. But yeah, now I'm gonna move on to the front end. There is a lot that I have to talk about on the front end that I don't like. Start off, I guess, the front just looks like it was tacked on. That's a big problem with the 2022 BRZ, in my opinion. A lot of it looks like a BRZ was taken, and then just a bunch of parts were tacked on. Almost like a body kit, but the person that designed the body kit didn't know what they were doing. They're a little harsh, but I mean, really, it just seems like they took the old BRZ design, squished, extruded, and did some stuff with it. I mean, it's just a little awkward, in my opinion, and that's especially prominent on the front, at least from my eyes. But I'll cover some more issues now with the front, too. Alright, so another problem with the front, in my opinion, is that it goes out too far. It kind of goes out too far, and they didn't know what to do with it, so they just kind of had it swoop down, and then they just have it cut. The BRZ had a much flatter front, and I think that worked much better, and looked better, as it just kind of came down, and it looked a lot nicer, in my opinion. Obviously, not a car designer, so I can't say exactly what's wrong here, but it does seem like the front came out a little bit too long and went a little too low. And that brings me to another issue with the headlights. Alright, because of the front end's weird foray farther out, the headlights are left in an awkward place, in my opinion, and end up sitting really high. And it just seems weird. It almost seems like the front end of a Porsche, the way that the hood is actually lower than the lights. A little less pronounced on the BRZ, though. No, I don't like it. You might like it, but I don't. The Porsche is a very round car. Almost all of them are. I mean, you've got your exceptions like the 944, but for the most part, when you imagine a 911, very much a very smooth round car. There aren't a lot of sharp edges on it. The VRZ has a lot of sharp edges, and this weird smooth section just seems a little awkward in my opinion. Of course, you might like it. I'm not a professional car designer. Maybe this is just fine of a choice, but it just seems really strange to me how it's got all these like sharp lines here and there, and then nothing. It's really smooth here. I don't know. And there's more issues with the front that I'm going to cover. Alright, so another issue with the front is it's got a lot of lines that don't really go anywhere. They just kind of go up to the front and stop. And it's a really abrupt, like, meaningless change. Everything about the 2022 BRZ is a little weird in my opinion. I'll admit, I like the car. I like the idea of the car, especially with the tech specs, but I just don't like the design. There's something about it to me. Anyways, it's got all these lines, and they don't really go anywhere, except they just stop in the front. I don't understand, I guess. Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna move a little bit back towards the middle of the car. I didn't really cover this, but the rear door just has no design except for one singular part in the front where it's just a little bit of the rear fender poking onto the door. What? It's almost a completely flat door except for this one singular part, and that might just be like OCD setting me off, but it just doesn't seem right. But hey, I mean, I don't know. Anyways, this might have gotten a bit ranty, so I'm gonna cut off the video now. But yeah, thanks for watching, and goodbye. I'd always appreciate if you subscribed. We're at like 94, so almost at 100. And if you'd support some more off-topic content like this, then comment down below, I guess. Yeah. Thanks for watching, and goodbye again.